I'm Bruce, and I'm a gym legend.
I'm 65 years old and a torn meniscus.
I'm not 65, asshole.
What are you, 70?
56, asshole.
Sorry.
Same difference.
Your beard just shows off 70, so.
You know, I did put a little product in it this morning. So
Yeah, it's got a nice kick to it.
if it's shiny right now, you know why.
And I see above the sideburns, you're looking awfully smooth and silky. So you must have shaved.
Right here?
Yeah, you must have shaved the head over the
I had
weekend.
to trim them down a little bit.
No, did you shave the head over the weekend?
My head?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
I did. Yeah, I did
There you go.
Thursday.
I was gonna say
Thursday.
your head looks like a baby's ass right now.
It's a little smooth.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined today by my two hair-impaired co-hosts. To my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And behind the computer, losing hair at a rapid rate, it is Bruce, the tugboat.
Bruce, the bald
Widow's
spot,
Peak.
Venditti.
Hello, but what?
Bruce, the bald spot, Venditti.
Take the hat off.
Like I said,
Take the hat
Joseph
off.
will lose his hair before I do.
Take the hat
Take
off.
the hat off.
What, man?
Turn around.
Brush it back. Yep.
Turn around.
Show us the peak.
No, turn around.
What?
Turn around.
Just
What
because I have
happened to
a
your
bald
forehead?
spot.
Show us the back of your head.
No.
That's all I'm going to say.
You have no hair.
Will you take your hat off?
Absolutely.
Will you put your head right
like
into the camera? Put your head right.
bowling ball.
Put the egg right into the camera. How is it soft? How does it feel?
Like a baby's bottom.
So, week one of the preseason has come and gone, and there was a lot to dissect from week one. I don't know how much importance it all had, but there was a lot.
Before we go into week one, can we talk about one thing?
Of course, whatever you want.
I want you to bring up that idiot that's in Cleveland right now.
Okay. That's all. That's
No,
all on the
because
line.
I got something to say about it.
That's
Okay.
part of week one.
All right.
What I like to do, how the show goes, is I like to say what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Well, we're through the week one of preseason, and we're going to talk about this, and this, and then
Okay.
get right
Okay.
into it.
I just thought we could get that out of the way and then actually talk about some
Yes.
shit that was going on the field.
Correct. Obviously, if you saw any of the Jacksonville Jaguars Cleveland Browns game, you heard chants of "You sick fuck" ringing through the stadium
Yep.
as soon as Deshaun Watson took the field. So we definitely need to touch on
Weirdo.
the sick fuck. And
Weirdo.
some news and notes from our very own Detroit Lions. I have a take that I think you're going to agree with.
Okay.
And we also need to talk about the New England Patriots because I think everybody's finally a believer. Oh, and Tom Brady taking time away from the team. All of that and more.
We're not going to sit down here and just bash the Lions.
I don't
are we?
care about Tom
Am I
Brady.
going to sit down? No, I'm not going to
Who
bash
gives
the
a
Lions.
shit that
Okay,
Tom
'cause
Brady's taking some time off?
I've heard too much bashing already. It's been one game. I'm just over it.
I'm not going to bash their performance on the field. It was week one of preseason. There wasn't anything to really.
Thank you.
I mean,
I've been saying that to
me and
everybody.
Uncle Sam were in full agreement. Their defense, the middle of their defense was absolutely fucking atrocious. It was horrendous.
Okay, I don't
I can
care
get by
who's
that.
out
I
there,
can get by
who's
that.
starting, who's whatever. Preseason, I'm glad it wasn't the fucking regular season.
Yeah, they have a lot of to work on
They have a shit ton to work on.
between now and September. Hopefully, we see that documented on Hard Knocks.
Well, yeah, now they have game footage that they can go back and actually
Absolutely,
learn from. So
but
They have footage to be absolutely fucking petrified right now, and that's what they needed. That's what they needed.
okay. Some news and notes from training camp. Here we go. Alvin Kamara. Everybody's talking about his suspension. Likely, he will not be suspended this year. His legal case probably won't impact his availability due to the fact that it's going to go to trial. It's going to be a whole thing. So now at this point, we can safely say Kamara won't miss any time. He'll be RB1 for the Saints going into this year.
Okay.
And if anything will come from his little altercation in Las Vegas. It will be in next year.
Well, here's the bad thing. They have footage of it. So guess what? Get ready. Because if he's not getting suspended this year, he will get suspended next year.
Yeah, I mean...
And I don't know how that's going to help
Yeah.
him on a team rebuilding and
That's
trying
true.
to go forward.
That's very true. Joe Burrow is back to practice this week, 2 weeks removed from his appendectomy. He was working in 7-7 drills and things like that. So he is up throwing the ball off the golf cart. But they said he probably will not play in the preseason, which I don't think
shouldn't.
will be any.
Why
sort of
risk it?
issue.
Let the kid heal up.
The Colts coaching staff also said that Jonathan Taylor will not play in the preseason. I don't think we need to see anything.
No, because they
there.
need to solidify that number 2 guy. It's Hines and whoever else. So that's fine.
You got to remember, you don't want to get these guys hurt for a game
Absolutely
that
not.
doesn't count at all.
Nope.
So
Not that teams listen, these teams that are in a position to hit a playoff run, I don't blame them for not playing their starters or whoever.
Oh no, I agree.
I don't blame them. I wouldn't fucking do it either.
God forbid, Jonathan Taylor
God
goes
forbid
out there.
you put
Yeah.
that kid out there. You put Taylor out there and he fucking tears his meniscus on the second run from scrimmage and he's out the rest of the
No,
year.
that'll only be you.
Or like Marlon Mack,
was
ruptures his
literally
Achilles
about to say
tendon
that.
on the second run of the year and he's gone for the year.
Takes one step out of the manager's office, ruptures his Achilles out. For
I
the year.
did stepping down off them steps.
Meniscus
Damn it.
tore. You felt it snap.
I
Drake
felt that
London,
fucker just
obviously the highly anticipated receiver out of USC, was injured in a very, very, very swift fashion against the Lions on Friday. We still don't have any definitive answers about what it was. Arthur
I don't
Smith
think it's
came out-
anything serious from what I've seen.
They're downplaying it. Obviously, I think that will be it for him for preseason action.
Yeah, you're not going to see him again. You're not going to see him again.
But the way that it looked, because I watched it happen, I was like, oh, he tore something in his knee. Just by the way it looked on TV.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was able to get off, but like, that's something to watch out for because as we know, Drake London's biggest question mark coming out of college was the fact that he was
missed
injured
his
all of
senior
last
year.
year. Yeah.
He only
So
played a half a year.
That's
I didn't
something.
even see it happen.
That's something. Well, what were you, 16 Bud Lights deep by then?
No.
Oh.
By the way, did you see the pictures of him at the Ted Nugent concert?
You went to the Ted Nugent concert?
Yeah.
That's what I said. I was shocked.
You know, he parties on the weekends more than anybody I know now.
Yeah.
I know that.
All these things are planned
I
out.
get-
I went out with my boys
Again,
and dad.
the Tip Balls podcast is paying too much these days because, I mean, it's Lions games, Tigers games,
Well, my Lions games are paid for by my father,
Ted Nugent, trips to Nashville.
which I paid
Yeah, what the fuck?
$60 for.
This kid does more than I do.
I know. I know. I want to, when I grow up, I want to be just like Bruce.
You go to Miami every other weekend. I don't want-
Other than that,
that
a
luxury.
bunch of the normal. Oh, there's one thing that I saw that was interesting. After getting reps with the first team, sources close to the Chiefs are now saying Ronald Jones is on the cut bubble.
I don't believe that whatsoever.
You
I don't believe that whatsoever.
Really?
I don't believe it.
That would be. Could you imagine if they cut him and then he goes back and signs with Tampa Bay again?
I don't see him getting cut.
In some New England news, one of my favorite running backs.
Listen, we never finished the Deshaun Watson thing.
Again, we're going
Okay,
there. I'm still doing the fucking news.
Go ahead.
Are you just, he's just like erect and ready to go destroy just Deshaun Watson today. But I was going to say, James White retired. Now,
Got R.I.P. James White.
take the floor and tear him
I
apart.
really like James White, by the way. I really like him.
That's all I really like him. That's all you got to say. Three-time
Great-
Super Bowl
great
champion.
player, a catalyst to their Super Bowl runs.
Yeah.
They didn't have him. They
He
probably
was
wouldn't have
more
won as many as
important.
they did.
I truly think he was more important to that team than ever met the eye. I think
Correct.
he had a pretty substantial leadership role that was never really well documented as well.
I think his play was his leadership role.
Yeah.
Whenever they needed that tough that tough yard or
Yeah.
that crucial catch.
That third
it
and
was him.
6
Yes.
screen pass, it was him.
Yes.
And there's again, I want to get more into New England here, but I'll let you do.
No,
Deshaun.
go ahead. I'm ready for it. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, because I actually think that you're right about a lot of the stuff. I think they're a mess.
If you've been watching the show, it's pretty well documented that first and foremost, I am a huge Patriots fan. Have been for literal decades.
Patriot bandwagoner.
I am not a Patriot
He jumped
bandwagon.
ship.
No, this is false. I
Jumped
will
ship.
say I am a Tom Brady fan first and a Patriots fan second. I'm also a massive fan of Bill Belichick, of Robert Kraft, the stadium, the colors, everything about the Patriots. Truly, I love. But it's well documented on this show that I am extremely dissatisfied with the state of the roster, the state of the coaching staff, the decisions they've made, the draft.
Well, you can't blame the coaching staff on.
I can blame the
I
fact that
don't.
Matt fat ass fucking Patricia is calling plays.
It's not fat ass. It's shitbag.
Shitbag, whatever, dumpster fire. He should not be back there.
I don't, especially as an offensive coordinator. I don't get that. I don't understand what. I still think that Belichick's calling plays.
Okay.
I don't think that he's going
Besides
to allow
that,
Patricia to do that.
Bill Belichick said something that I feel like a lot of people didn't pick up on, but I found that it was extremely interesting the other day. And something that we've never really heard Bill Belichick say before. Because, it's the same old song and dance usually.
He doesn't say much.
Well, he doesn't say much.
Or smile. Or have any sense of... He doesn't give a fuck. At least to the media.
Well, I mean, he doesn't say anything to the media. He lets them dictate, and he lulls them to sleep with just his dry, one-word answers to answer all their questions.
Uh-huh.
Well, please put a cut in here because I'm trying to find this exact quote.
Well, look at that. It's the
What did you say? his
perfect
quote
time
was?
for our
That they're in a
sponsor.
transition.
Since 1953, Metro Detroiters have trusted one name for all their produce needs. Joe Randazzo's Fruit and Vegetable prides itself on providing the freshest and highest quality produce at the absolute lowest prices. Their 4 locations in Detroit, Dearborn Heights, Westland, and Roseville have a wide variety of ethnic produce from all around the world. One of the few remaining produce-centric markets left in the country, I can assure you your time shopping at Joe Randazzo's with its open-air and old-world market feel will be nothing but an enjoyable one. Coming off of a fresh remodel, cleanliness and safety are priority one, with quality, low prices, and customer satisfaction being a very close second. Come see why for the last 6 decades, many have tried to imitate, but no one can duplicate. Joe Randazzo's Fruit and Vegetable, serving Detroiters the freshest fruits and vegetables since 1953. So, he came out and said, we're going through a process. What does that mean to you when Bill
Process?
Belichick says we're going through a process?
He has no fucking idea what the hell's going on anymore.
If he's saying they're going through a process, meaning obviously they lost their offensive coordinator to be a head coach. Last year they lost a defensive coordinator to be a head coach. They've lost all their coordinators within the past couple of years. And who did they lose? Who's the other guy they lost? The kid, Brian Dabo. They lost him, right? Wasn't Dabo part of that Belichick?
They lost the greatest quarterback in the history of the
I'm
game
not even talking about him.
and haven't recovered.
Well, they're not going to recover.
What?
Well, look at it this way. I mean, here's the thing.
Here we go.
They lost their offensive coordinator, the guy that him and Brady were fucking doing it by themselves. Bill didn't have to worry about the offense because he had those guys taking care of that part of it. He didn't call plays while he was there, while Josh McDaniels was there. McDaniels did everything.
What Bill Belichick said was, we're in a rebuild. Let's cut the
That
bullshit.
process means rebuild.
We're at 0 and
We are in a full rebuild.
Yep.
And we don't really know what direction we're going in right now. That's what Bill Belichick said. So, for both of you who have repeatedly on here berated me for saying Bill Belichick's a little lost right now, the team doesn't have any direction right now, the roster's pretty shitty right now, and the Patriots are not a 10-win football team, they're a 7 or 8-win football team, and you guys sat here and bombarded me with shit. Can we now, especially you watched their preseason game, can we now please all come to an understanding? I don't hate Belichick. I don't think Bill Belichick's a bad coach. Do I think he can no longer
Is he as inept? Are you trying to say he's inept like Mike McCarthy?
Absolutely. No. He's not a bad coach. He's not inept. He's none of it. But he can no longer do things the way he has been for the last 20 years.
Obviously, he can't.
Yes, but you
think that's
you told
obvious.
me I was insane.
I still think they will win 9 to 10 games this year, regardless. They're that good of a team,
but they're
that
not.
They will.
But they're not.
They are.
But they're not.
They are.
they've been in
But
a
they're not.
rebuild since Brady left because they brought Cam Newton.
According to him, Mac Jones the answer to every question.
I mean,
which I don't.
I don't doubt
You tell
he's
me that
got a
Mac
big
Jones
ceiling.
is not better than Cam Newton.
Mac Jones is not the problem.
No.
The problem is when you eliminate Tom Brady from the offense and you put Mac Jones in there, Mac Jones could play extremely good football, but they can't win the gutty game that Brady would miraculously win them. They can't without Edelman, without Gronkowski, without those
that's
pieces.
a lot of stuff to rebound
God.
from.
Correct. And you can't just not sign any talent and not draft anybody's ever heard of and just put it all together. Like it's not going to happen.
Think they've signed some guys over the past year. Well, they signed a couple of tight ends last year. You sign a few receivers this year. The defense will still be stout there. They don't have to worry about their defense. They're young and they're good.
Isn't stout anymore. But
They're stout.
not.
They are.
They're not. They're letting everybody go. They let everybody go.
No, they let Jackson go.
Where's Chase Winovich?
Chase Winovich was a bust.
All I remember a year ago, okay, you loved Chase Winovich in that offense.
Winovich. Here's the
Loved
problem.
it.
He didn't produce.
He
didn't produce.
Because their defense is no longer capable of getting the job done without the backing of the offense. It's very
the
simple.
offense helps them because, listen, when Brady had the offense, they were a machine.
Correct.
They were a machine.
And they're not anymore.
They would. I've never seen people, like, if they did not want to move the ball downfield fast, he would take every second off the clock.
Yep.
Off that clock.
Melt it.
And they'd be snapping the ball with 1 to 2 seconds left on the clock, and then move it 5 yards, and then keep doing that over and over and over again
On the play
and
clock.
have an 80-yard, 5.5 minute, 6-minute drive and 80 yards.
And then go back out on the next drive and have a 2-play, 90-yard, 23-second drive.
Right. Because that's what dictated the team.
And that's part
the
of
defense just had to hold their own,
Correct.
and that was it.
Right.
And if you remember
that's-
last year, the defense was off the chain the first 7 weeks of the season. They were setting records last year.
Do you think their defense will be as good as last year?
I do.
You do.
I do think that.
That'll be interesting to see. But
Even though Jackson is gone, and I really liked him. I thought he was,
J.C. Jackson.
yeah.
But
I liked him.
What
but I think they got some
justification-
young guys that could step into that position.
what justification do you have for not retaining a guy like that? Again, it's not the Patriots of old. You can't just let Pro Bowler after Pro Bowler walk and just next man up it because you're missing now all
That's
of them.
what they've done their whole career.
I get it, but now they're all gone.
But they're getting newer guys. Listen, like you just said, they're in a rebuild. And it's been a rebuild since when they signed Cam Newton, it was a rebuild.
that's what I said.
Do you want to know what I think that
When Brady
was?
left, it started the rebuild.
That was. You want to know what I think that was? That was Belichick trying to show he doesn't need Brady. He can do it with Cam.
You know what? It is what it is. He was there for how long?
2 weeks.
Buck, 18 years. That's good enough. He needs to go away. That's why I want him to win his fucking Super Bowl so he rides off in the sunset. We don't have to fucking see him anymore.
Well,
Okay?
I think the state of New England is very precarious.
I'm
still
I
sticking
wouldn't worry
with my
about
fourth
that.
place finish.
If they're in a fucking rebuild, I see them rebounding faster than any other team you'll see, and that they will rebound faster than Seattle Seahawks are.
Oh my
Seahawks
God!
are
They're not as
dumpster fire.
dysfunctional.
They're
as
not
the Seahawks.
nearly as.
They will rebound faster than a lot of these other teams.
You're missing this whole thing. I'm not saying they're a 3-win team. I'm not saying that Belichick is completely inept. Like Mike McCarthy looks like a fucking oath on the sideline.
My
this
God.
weekend. I am sorry.
The Dallas Cowboys, dude.
I mean, disarray.
Yeah, you're gonna have
I
to
don't
give
even know
me
what to
your,
say.
NFL Network or Red Zone or something, so I can actually watch games that aren't here. Because
Dak Prescott. all I got to say is Dak Prescott. What the
Yahoo Sports only has like 1 or 2 games that you can watch.
has who 1 or 2 games?
Bruce doesn't have fucking cable plan to let him watch the games. But
What?
anyways,
What the fuck you mean you don't have?
You
cable?
have to have like NFL Network or Red Zone to watch games around the league.
Get it on your phone. It's $39.
I signed up for it. I'll give him my fucking login. Anyways,
God. Useless.
so jumping down to Jacksonville.
How I'm useless.
Obviously, the Browns played the Jaguars. And again, I don't put much merit on preseason games. But we have now seen the Jaguars in 2 preseason games. The Jaguars are my sleeper team of the year. And at the moment, I am looking pretty stupid for picking them.
Well, I don't think. Listen, Trevor Lawrence is a really good quarterback. He just hasn't had the right tutelage yet. That will come.
Hold on, he hasn't had the right what?
Tutelage.
What the fuck is a tutelage?
Tutelage is he hasn't had the right coaching staff to tell this guy what he needs to do to be successful.
How do you
He went
spell
from
that?
the big giant clusterfuck of Urban Meyer.
Hold on, is that an actual word?
Tutelage? Yes, absolutely.
Are you
Google
sure
it.
about that?
How do you spell it?
If you could spell it.
Tutelage?
Tutelage.
TOOTL. I don't
Oh,
even
God.
know. Anyways, we're moving on from that. So they haven't looked very good in the Hall of Fame game, and they haven't looked very good now.
No.
They have not looked good.
Like I told you, will they win more than fucking 1 game this year? Hopefully. More than 2 games? Hopefully.
And Travis Etienne didn't look very good either, which concerns me.
You know what concerns me? The offensive line ain't there.
Their offensive line didn't look very good.
They're not there.
Everything. So I'm hoping I'm still staying by what I said.
They're going to lose a little
Guardianship.
time to gel.
I think
Guardianship. Protection of or
talking
authority
about
over
tutelage?
someone or something. Guardianship. Tutelage.
anyways, I think that Jacksonville has the roster to be a very, very good team. I'm just hoping they can put it all together, which I still think they will. It might
As long
take
as Urban Meyer's not there.
It might take a month into the year, but Deshaun Watson's stats: 1 for 5 passing for 7 yards.
He was so impressive.
What was more impressive was the Jaguars fans' ability, Duvall, to get everybody in the stadium as soon as he walked out on the field to chant "You sick fuck" at him, which was
he will be hearing that every
beautiful.
week.
That is exactly what happened with Mike Vick.
yeah. And
Everyone was barking.
Yeah.
imagine that first game they play in Pittsburgh.
And you know what? Mike Vick took.
Oh, they're
going
gonna tear him in
when it
new
was
ass.
right.
They're
Mike
going
Vick
to
took
shred
that pretty
him.
well and took it in strong.
He did,
man.
He did. It'll
Yeah.
be really interesting to see if Watson can do that. Now,
The difference is Mike Vick also did his time for the crime. That's different.
go ahead. I want to hear all your thoughts now. Let's go.
I think he's a fucking asshole. I think he's a total asshole to come out.
You've really
and
changed
then-
your
then
opinion on this
Finally,
in the last week.
You're going to finally apologize to 24 fucking women you're going to come out and finally apologize? What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
Because
What
he
is
wants
that?
because he wants his fame back.
You know
That's what I
dude?
got from that.
You know what, dude? He should have shut his fucking mouth. He's going to get suspended. It's going to be a year-long suspension.
He's an asshole.
And if it's not this year, it will be next year. And he made himself look like a total asshole. Because if he would have done that from the fucking beginning, he wouldn't be in the situation he's in right now.
So you disagree with him apologizing?
Absolutely, I do.
Why?
Absolutely. I just told you. Because he looks like a fucking moron, dude. I don't know
Not
who
wrong.
his people
and
are.
And it took a couple fans at a game for him to do this.
I mean,
What are you talking about?
you talk about mismanaging this situation.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I'm saying it took all these fans to berate him for him to come
it's
out
not
and
even
say
that,
sorry.
dude. And that's not even
you're
why
right.
he apologized.
Yeah, it is.
That's not
Come on.
why, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That's not why. That's partially why. Here's what it is. He's playing damage control now because he knows he's going to get a fucking year suspension. He already knows that. So he's trying to play damage control now. So they go easy on him.
Don't you remember what I said? That if he doesn't just roll with it, and again, he's got another chance now to roll with it
Correct.
when they change it and say, hey, we're going to suspend you for a fucking year. If he had any sort of brain capacity, he would take it
He
and
should
be
have
done.
done that from day one. I don't know who
Take
his
it and be
lawyers
done.
are. I don't know who's giving him advice. But he should have just stuck to his guns, shut his fucking mouth, deal with the fucking shit you're going to deal with, and get it over with.
Because I got
His
news
fault.
for you. We have not heard the end of this. Because it's going to
I'm
go to
sure.
federal court.
I'm sure.
Because the NFLPA won't allow their dicks to get stepped on.
Yep.
Because this was the agreement they had with the NFL, was whatever the judge says is what we do. And Roger Goodell stepped on their dick and said, no, fuck you, that's not enough.
Correct.
So now the NFLPA is not going to let him piss on them. And it's going to go to federal court. And then he's going to get suspended for a year. And God only knows between now and next year when this goes to trial, what the fuck else is going to come out.
Well, the trial is just going to be for the suspension.
Correct. I'm aware of that.
Is he guilty of being a scumbag?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
But
he might as well move to Seattle.
But hold
it
on.
is a good thing though that this is finally happening. Like, does the punishment fit the crime?
A
From all-
year?
Yes, but what I'm saying
No.
is from all the guys
doesn't.
who's been suspended, for just bullshit.
To me, and what they're saying Goodell could do is Goodell's going for the indefinite suspension.
There you
as
go.
he fucking
I thought
As
Goodell
he
said
should.
the year.
Absolutely.
that people close to
It
the
was
NFL
posted
said he
on
was
the
going
NFL
for at least
that he
a year.
wants a year suspension for him.
It should be indefinite.
I look at
period.
it this way. Still, there's obviously no basis of him being convicted criminally.
Right, but do you get what I'm saying
That
here?
means everything, dude. If this guy had 24 counts of sexual misconduct against him, he should be in prison.
Yeah, but now you're hitting his bank account.
I don't care. He should be in prison, period.
You're right. You're not wrong.
You're forgetting about this. Usually when shit like this drags,
Oh, the longer it drags out, the worse it's going to be.
if you don't think, if this drags out now for another year, and it's never not going to be in the news, as long as the Browns are playing, as long as Deshaun Watson is available to play, they will talk about nothing but this. Oh, even if we don't have an update yet, we don't know what's going on yet, the trial's not going to start till then, it will nonstop be in the news.
That's a great thing for 31 other teams.
It's not only a great thing for 31 other teams.
Yeah.
When you have somebody who is, we know Deshaun Watson is a scumbag. I personally don't think we have heard the last of accusations, claims. I think more and more of this over the next year is going to come out of the woodwork. And the more and more everybody looks bad on this, the more and more the DAs in Houston are going to be likely to reopen this shit.
I don't see it happening.
I do.
I really don't. Here, the bottom line is this. We know what he is. He should have shut his fucking mouth and wrote it out.
The apology
but
was
obviously the apology
horrendous
was
idea.
half-assed.
Yep.
It was fucking.
Timing was
I don't know who
horrible.
wrote that for him. Somebody obviously wrote it for him, and he.
Do you want to know what that is, though?
Half-hearted.
That is so typically Cleveland Browns. It is so.
Well, I
typically
mean,
But with
you can't
all
say
this
Cleveland
going on-
Browns because he was part of the Texans when it happened.
No, but right now, what's going on now? You don't think the Browns were like, "Hey, Deshaun, listen, we're really getting a lot of bad PR here, so
Yeah.
we need you to go out there and do
We
something."
need you to step up.
Fuck.
And guess what?
Listen, he
if
should
it
be on
took
the fucking
that
bench.
long, and that long for him to step up, he should have stepped up once it all came out.
Correct. And here's the
And
other thing.
apologized to the people he may have offended or whatever, accusations or
Why
whatever.
the fuck are you playing him in
Exactly.
the pre?
Yeah.
All you're doing by playing him
is throwing gasoline on the fire.
if you sign him to the contract you do, and we've seen Deshaun Watson play, you know what the guy can do. Does he need to go out there and get 6 reps in a preseason game?
No.
Abso-fucking-lutely not. So by putting him on the field, what are you doing? Causing a monster fucking distraction. Causing a
clusterfuck.
monster shitstorm. Make him fucking sit at the facility for 10 hours a day and go out and do 7 on
If that
7.
team goes 500 this year, I'd be shocked.
Be shocked.
I'll be shocked.
I agree.
I'll be shocked if they go 500.
Just complete and utter
And
mismanagement.
that's dropping the
of-
I
first
think
6
they
games.
just need to put his
And
ass
that's
on the
dropping the
bench.
first 6 games.
They need to eat what they did, the Browns, and they need to sit his ass on the bench, and someone else has to step
You have
up.
to remember the Browns. The Browns are the ones that come out of this perfect.
Yeah.
The Browns have no repercussions. No,
No.
what? Oh, big deal. He's got to sit out a year. They don't give a fuck. The Browns have been bad for 40 fucking years.
They don't care. They're going
give a
to
shit.
keep selling their tickets.
Guess what?
People are going to keep going to the games.
The number of jerseys
us-
they probably
us being
sold
in Detroit
anyways
know
paid
this.
for him. Yeah.
Us
It doesn't
being
matter
in
how
Detroit
bad,
know
how
this.
dysfunctional, how shitty, how fucked up, they'll sell out every game.
The fan base is there.
Do you know they
Not
have
going anywhere.
they have the highest attendance rate out of any team in the league?
Cleveland.
Yeah, it's like
to me.
99.6.
Yeah, but with all this going on, you don't think the Cleveland fans, if he goes out there, the Cleveland fans are just
Absolutely
gonna,
not.
absolutely
dude.
fucking
They're just
not.
gonna
Because guess
parade him?
what? When this is
don't
all
give a
said
shit.
and done, he does his year suspension. He comes back. They'll have open arms for him.
Guess what? If the Lions would have gotten rid of Jared Goff and brought Deshaun Watson in here,
Would you have been fired up?
you would have been so glazed in your own spit,
No,
you wouldn't have
I-
known what to do.
I would have been yelling, he's a fucking scumbag, too.
Yeah, but
Why?
you still would have been at the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would be praying and hoping they take his ass out of the game, put him on his knees, and fucking shove him into the ground.
If the Lions could get into the playoffs and have Deshaun Watson,
Are
would you
you
care?
are you trying to tell me right now that
I
if
don't
Detroit
want
would have took them first 2 round them
Don't
two
fucking
first
want
round
him.
picks
Didn't want him.
of last
Don't want
year?
him. I'd take
sent
Baker
them to
Mayfield
the
over
Texans.
him. Like I said,
Let me finish. Send them to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. You wouldn't have been all in. That's a goddamn lie right there.
If the Lions could have signed Deshaun Watson and you got a guaranteed home playoff game,
nope.
that's bullshit.
That's all horseshit.
No.
Bruce
I
would
don't
genuinely.
want. No, I don't want
That's
my
all
team
horseshit.
being led by a fucking scumbag.
Would you cut off a pinky for the Lions to have a home playoff game?
Nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth
really?
it. A Super Bowl,
Would you
I'd
cut off your
probably
little
cut off
foreskin?
my I'd probably cut off my pointer finger
Anyway,
Anyway,
to win a Super Bowl.
but yeah,
back in the day, when Mike Vick come out of prison and signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, would you have taken him over any quarterback here in Detroit?
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Would I have signed him though? No.
Would you have? Well, obviously, not a lot of guys were in line, but
Well, who was
Signed
here
him.
at the time? Dante Culpepper.
I
I don't
think
fucking
something-
know, but I
John Kitna.
What year was it?
It was either
fucking
Kittner,
Matt
Culpepper. No, I don't think Stafford.
Oh,
was here yet.
Stafford didn't come to what, 2009?
Yeah,
No, it
Yeah.
was.
it was before that.
I think it was Kitna.
Yeah.
Kittner,
Can you imagine if we would have had Mike
didn't really
Vick
matter.
here? Would you have been out there? Oh, dog killer.
No,
Would you have been
Bruce
out
would have
there
been out there
with-
blowing it.
No.
Huh?
Bruce would have been out there
Are you
blowing.
kidding me, dude? I
I'd be on my hands and knees.
he would have been the best quarterback ever to play here, bar none. Period.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What?
for the time, yes.
What does that mean for the time?
For the time.
What do you think? Bobby Lane was better than fucking Mike Vick? No, not ever. He couldn't hold Mike Vick's jock strap.
You got to remember the time, though.
Whatever.
Mike Vick
Whatever.
was an athlete. Bobby
Detroit would have
Lane.
gave their
Was
gave
what,
every
guy on the street?
every finger on their hand to have a guy like Mike Vick.
I think we're good there. Let's switch gears a little bit. The NFL sent memos to all 32 teams today in reference to tampering rules and regulations, and that
I wonder why.
their entire front office should be, quote unquote, refreshed on the rules when handling the trade of Bears linebacker Roquan Smith, who sources close to the team are now saying could be traded as soon as this week.
Yep.
I want him here.
They should have done that. They should
I
have done that
want him
last year
here.
before you had this lion debacle.
If
the
Brad Holmes is
Dolphin
smart,
debacle.
he'll bring him here.
Okay. Where do we see this guy going realistically? I think he's one of the great linebacking talents in the league right now. I'll be honest.
Oh, he's top 10.
I mean,
Top
yeah,
10.
he's. I mean,
Easy
you could
top
argument
10.
for top 5. So now, where does he end up?
It all depends on who needs this position right now. I would love to see the Lions go
Ready
after
to
him,
Lions.
especially after what I seen over there in that preseason game. They need somebody that
If you
can
think
fucking play the
if
middle.
Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are smart, they make that fucking.
Well, I mean,
they make that
here's
deal
the thing right now.
happen.
I don't think these guys are in any position to spend that kind of money on a guy who's been around that long.
Well, here's
It's better than
issue.
fucking anything we got.
Absolutely.
Roquan Smith doesn't have an agent.
He's his own agent.
He's his own agent. So this is what adds a whole other dimension to this, because they cannot talk to him directly because he is not a certified agent.
So it's considered tampering.
Correct. They can't talk to him
Right.
unless they get written permission. They have to ask the Bears for permission and receive written permission with essentially the league office CC'd that they can have a conversation with him because he's representing himself.
Okay.
So
That's
this
what you said last week comes into play.
This is going to be a complete fucking shit show.
This might drag on the whole year.
Yeah.
It'll drag on the whole. He's not going anywhere. He might get traded. What, week 7, 8, 9 of the
I mean, this is
of
going to
the
be.
season?
What did you say about what I said last week?
About how shit, I just had it in my fucking ass.
Your neck is getting pretty thick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's a compliment now. A thick neck is a compliment.
Anyway,
I've been focusing on the traps.
Have you?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of the what we saw this weekend in the preseason games. What were some highlights for you? Let's talk about the Eagles because I know you want to talk about Philadelphia. So let's.
mine was watching Jordan Davis manhandle every offensive lineman he goes up against,
and he fucking did.
and N'Kobe Dean making plays.
I've come
The
to
guy that dropped to the 3rd round, 4th round.
Yeah.
A guy who was a definite 1st round talent dropped that far
I
because he
agree with that.
refused to have surgery. And that's I like everything they're doing over there.
that on the mics.
George Pickens,
No.
what he's
Little
been
bit, but-
what he's been doing
Hold
in
on.
Pittsburgh.
I want to talk about both of these things, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
I don't know a situation where a team's going to run the ball in Philadelphia.
Well, I mean,
They're just, oh my God, they're
just
the
they're
front of that
stacked.
defense.
They're
is
stacked
so
with
powerful
players.
right now. I mean,
the defense is going to be really fun to watch. If all those guys are healthy and they're all playing on the same page and playing together,
You're not gonna
they could
run
be
the ball on
something special to watch.
they're going to be fucking
Could
scary.
be another Ravens/Chicago Bear type defense.
I thoroughly believe that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say this with a very, very, very small grain of rice. After looking through their entire roster top to bottom and hearing what Jalen Hurts and some of the other guys are saying, I think Philadelphia is going to make a pretty fucking deep playoff run.
They're going to make a push.
They're going to
I don't think they're there yet totally. I think they lack experience. I think that's the only thing they lack.
I'm going to tell you this. I went through like a crackhead, I bet on preseason NFL games this week.
Okay.
Okay? I also bet some season
Okay.
bets, Super Bowl favorites, all of the above. I may have placed a small wager, and we're going to talk about a lot of betting in the next episode, but I may have placed a small wager on Philadelphia to appear in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I heard some guy the other day say they're an 8-win team. I was like, yeah, okay. Okay.
Who said they're an 8-win team?
Some cat doing a line out of Vegas.
I'll tell you this. Philadelphia, if they click,
They don't like the quarterback. They're saying
I know that Vegas doesn't
he's
like
not
Jalen
proven.
Hurts. That's fine. Joe Burrow wasn't fucking proven.
Exactly.
I mean, in
So
the
last year-
fantastic. Matt Stafford wasn't fucking proven.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real here. Matt Stafford had never won an important game in his entire fucking NFL career.
Yep.
So, I don't see why everybody's. The problem is Jalen Hurts is not your. He's not the most fundamentally great quarterback there is. I will say that. He's not one of those guys who I think could go out and he's not going to light it up.
Right.
But there's no real superstars, but they're just so well put together. Are we combing again today? Hey, Manscaped, sponsor us. Anyways, they're very, very well put together. I hate it, though, but I could see a Buccaneers-Eagles NFC Championship game.
I would love to see that.
I was at that game last year, the Eagles-Bucks game, and I saw moments in the Eagles where I was like, God damn. And now they've added so many more pieces.
I think the additions of Bradbury, I'm a big Bradbury
I know
guy.
you are. You always
I think
have
he's
been.
very solid. I love Darius.
He gives them a
Slay.
nice veteran presence to go along with
think,
Slay.
I just think the additions of N'Kobe Dean to the linebacker, and that's
Reddick.
where they were weak, actually, was that linebacker.
I mean,
I think the acquisition of him and to the middle of the defensive line is going to be an absolute Fletcher Cox and Hargrave
agree.
and Jordan Davis, and with these two Pro Bowlers that play at a high level, I just think that they're going to be really something to watch, something to see. And with Hassan Riddick on the outside and in a rotation with Brandon Graham, I think they're going to be very, very good.
Okay, so let's go on the opposite side now. What did you think of the Jets?
The Jets, here's the thing.
They won.
I
shockingly enough.
I think the Jets are not that bad. What's going to really tell this tale with them is this. How long is Zach Wilson going to miss?
Well, if they're saying
they need to bring that Mike White kid in for a game or whatever,
I think it's going to be more.
It?
I think we're going to have more than a game situation. I
do too.
I think they're going to go the first month of the year without Zach Wilson.
I do too. And I think if they fall behind the 8 ball in division, they're going to be in trouble.
So now, obviously, as soon as Zach Wilson went down, I saw the tweets. Does this open the door for Jimmy Garoppolo?
I did too. Here's the thing. Garoppolo's not getting shipped out until the last day.
Till the absolute
and they're
final
going
hour.
to release him the day before the fucking season starts.
They might, yeah.
I got a feeling they're going to do that. And is that fair to him? No. But they can't get any takers to take that contract. They can't get anything for him. So I think instead of holding this guy hostage, they should just let him go. I just don't think it's right. Even as fucking inept and as shitty as the Cleveland Browns are, they at least let Baker go.
You know something? I was watching the 49ers game the other day.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they showed Kyle Shanahan's face up on the screen.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie. I'm not willing to put him in this yet. But I kind of got like, when you just get a little tingle in your stomach? I got a little scumbaggy tingle from Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan's not a scumbag. You want to know what he is?
He's like scummy.
He's
but not a scumbag.
He's a really good football coach.
He is.
His dad was one of the best coaches in
Absolutely.
league history, and nobody talks about it because he got a excuse me. He got a bad rap on the Robert Griffin bullshit. And they drove him out of the league.
No questions that Shanahan's a good coach.
So,
but he's kind of giving me scummy vibes.
You know what he is? This is what happens with him. This guy's had teams to go to the Super Bowl, and he makes stupid fucking calls that cost them games.
And he has a weird arrogance.
He
about
cost
him too.
them. He cost them games.
No, I know.
He did the same thing as offensive coordinator. He did the same thing as a head coach. He should have 2 Super Bowl rings.
Well,
but he can't call a fucking game the right way.
They did beat the Green Bay Packers this weekend in a game where Aaron Rodgers' heir apparent, Jordan Love, threw 3 interceptions.
Well,
when do they just cut this guy loose, dude?
Can we say it right now?
Go.
The reason why Aaron Rodgers makes $50 million a year
is because
Jordan Love is behind him.
You know they signed Danny Eatling, your boy, right?
Who?
Danny Eatling.
Eatling.
Remember he was the Patriots backup when Brady was there? They drafted him, Danny Eatling.
No, I don't.
From the school with the spider, Richmond.
Oh, from Richmond. Yeah.
That was your boy.
You know who the Patriots got? Billy Zapp.
I don't know.
From the Hilltoppers. Huh?
I don't know who that is.
He's from Western Kentucky.
Oh, shout out to Garrett.
Billy Zapp.
Shout out to No Football Gary.
But yeah, Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions, which was.
Well, you know, Jordan Love is what Jordan Love is. This is what happens when you roll a dice on a guy, just from sheer physical stature. Sort of like, you know, he's the unsuccessful version of Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the other end of the ball, Trey Lance, the new QB1 in San Francisco, went 4 for 5 for 92 yards and a touchdown, and threw on a 7-yard scramble as well. So you can't really complain about that. Again, our sample size is literally the size of Bruce's penis, but at the end of the day,
whoa,
you can argue.
Yeah,
you shouldn't.
Anyway,
I'm
at the end of the day, it was not a bad performance.
Well, here's the thing: it's preseason. Let's see what Trey Lance looks like week 1.
Are you a believer in Trey Lance yet or no?
Am I what?
Do you have any sort of belief in Trey Lance yet or no?
No, I don't.
None. 0.
I got to see him on the
social media
field,
would
man.
disagree.
He didn't prove shit last year.
I know.
Huh?
These fucking 49ers fans were berating me about how low I had Trey Lance on our list.
Oh, God.
How do you have Trey Lance below Jared Goff? Well, we haven't fucking seen him.
Really, dude?
Yeah,
when are we going to see Trey Lance put 5 games together?
Right.
That's all I want to know. Then we'll assess Trey Lance. There's a reason why Garoppolo was still there up until right now. And he's still there. There's a reason for it.
Did you watch the Chiefs-Bears game by chance?
I did. I watched some of it.
Why in God's fucking name was Patrick Mahomes even in that game?
I don't understand it.
They played 4 quarterbacks.
I don't know if it was Andy Reid trying to get Mahomes more reps at game speed with these new receivers.
Do you really need to get Mahomes?
I don't think
reps?
he needs it personally.
Or it's just a big fuck you to the Bears because they know how they suck.
Well, the Bears ended up winning that game again.
Well, anyway, Sky Moore
matter,
looked decent. I like
Sky
him.
Moore did look nice.
He's quick. He's shifty. Is he Tyreek Hill quick? No, I don't think so.
Well, how long did Mahomes
Sky Moore
play
3 for 3, 23 yards.
Because I didn't watch the game.
What?
How long did Mahomes play for?
I think he was in there for 8. Hold on, I'll look
8
right
snaps.
Okay,
now.
there
7
you go.
attempts.
That's why the Bears won.
He had 7 attempts. There you go.
But this is week 1. You want to get Mahomes a few reps? Toss him in there week 3 of the preseason. Let him throw 10 balls and move on.
Yeah,
I did not understand.
I don't
that
even
when
know
I
why
saw
he
him
played.
in
To
the
be honest with you,
No.
to be totally
No,
honest.
that one genuinely blew me away a little bit. Was not a fan of that move. I'll tell you what I did like though. I was watching the Colts and the Bills, and I watched I'm not a huge. It's well documented. Again, I don't love the Colts this year. I don't think their roster's that great. Not a big fan. Don't like the Matt Ryan thing. Don't like how much uncertainty there's been at the quarterback position the last 4 years. Don't like it. I watched their offensive line play extremely well.
They're good.
I watched Matt Ryan work pretty fucking precisely, and I watched them use Michael Pittman. I watched them utilize Michael Pittman in the screen pass game, in the long ball, on the slant.
He's a big receiver that can do it all.
I mean, he got the ball on a couple of these, a couple of the screen passes, and he had the fucking moves. And I'll tell you what, nobody really talks about him being fast. I watched him outrun.
Yeah.
I watched him outrun some of the Bills' DBs. And granted, I was actually kind of surprised by how poorly. Again, we're talking about the second team. But I was kind of surprised how poorly Buffalo's defense played. They didn't look like they knew what the fuck was going on. And it was like Matt Ryan's old ass went out there and punked them.
Here's the thing at preseason. Defenses are not playing any kind of blitz packages.
True. I'll give you that.
In the preseason. It's their straight up defense. They're not going to bring guys. They're not going to disguise coverages.
Right.
They're not doing any of it.
And I get that too. But
and I get that. You don't want to show your hand in the preseason.
Absolutely.
I get it.
I was kind of surprised by that. I think the Colts are a little bit better than I thought, and I'm willing to admit that.
Their backup was kind of impressive. The guy was elusive. He was throwing balls all over the field.
Well, Nick Foles, 7 for 11 for 72 yards.
It wasn't even Foles.
And a touchdown.
It was
Ellinger.
playing behind him.
Ellinger.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually
10 for 11, 88 yards, 2 tuds.
Yeah.
I mean, they looked pretty fucking good. Philip Lindsay got 5 carries. 25 yards on 5 carries.
Okay.
Can't argue 5 yards per carry. And he kind of disappeared after that 1 year in Denver.
Right.
I think he was in Houston last year.
Yes.
And didn't do anything.
Houston had like 5 backs.
Yeah,
None of them did
didn't
much.
do anything.
We're getting into the Titans.
By the way, did you? I had sent you a thing on the
Titans.
We'll get there, baby. We'll get there.
Because I want to show him up.
Okay.
I had sent you the message on the thing that Davis Mills' numbers against.
Please.
What?
Him and Tua being the same quarterback.
Yes. Did you see that?
Whatever.
Anyways.
By
By the way, there was one more thing I wanted to add. Malik Willis had his little show there. Now, did you guys see Mike Vrabel's comments on Malik Willis? He was not happy.
No.
Like, I wanted him to throw the football.
He did not like how much he ran. But
He didn't like that.
Granted,
he didn't like it at all.
He had 5 scrambles for 38 yards and a touchdown. So if you're Mike Vrabel, maybe you should just shut the fuck up and let the quarterback play.
You know
works,
what?
it works.
Mike
If it
Vrabel
works, it
wanted to
works.
see him go through his progression and throw the fucking football.
You know what?
That's the issue.
I get it. But guess what? At the end of the day, you drafted this kid. If he's the next Lamar Jackson, does anybody really give a fuck?
Not really.
Exactly. So I disagree with that from Mike Vrabel. You drafted this guy knowing what kind of style he was. If you wanted a fucking pure pocket passer, don't draft Malik Willis.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's
true.
I think Mike Vrabel is a very good football
I
coach.
agree, 1,000%.
And I understand where Mike Vrabel was coming from. He wants
him to
his
sit
guy to be able to read his progressions and go through each one. If he doesn't do that, he's not going to learn how to play quarterback in his sleep.
At the end of the day, he was 6 for 11 for 107 yards. So, do you really care? And then he rushed 5 times for 38.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, everybody knows he can run the football.
Right.
But he's got to go through his progressions and learn how to read defenses. Otherwise, he will wind up like a slew of quarterbacks before him.
I don't disagree
that
with you
can
there.
run the football and be in purgatory because they can't read a defense.
I don't.
That's
disagree.
what Mike Vrabel was trying to say. I get it. I understand it. Should he have said that to the media?
No.
Maybe not.
No.
I think he should have kept that
You
shit
keep
to
that
himself.
behind your fucking closed doors because now
You don't want to crush the kid's confidence. I get it.
yeah, I don't like that one fucking bit. I didn't think that was right.
Yeah, you're basically bashing your quarterback.
Yeah, that was
media,
I mean,
stupid if you ask me.
does anybody bash quarterback worse than the guy in Tampa?
Who?
Sorry?
Bruce Arians?
Yeah,
He's no longer with the team.
exactly.
Exactly. Because
Well, he's still in Tampa.
yeah,
He's
he's
got a different
In
position.
the
listen to me. He's painting the stripes in the parking lot now. Okay. Anyways, the Tampa-Miami game, nothing relevant came from it.
Well, what was going to be relevant?
Nothing. There was nothing relevant.
just-
Who didn't play? Brady
I
didn't
mean-
play. Nobody played. It was.
You get a look at some of the rookies that are.
What did you think of Kyle Trask's performance?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what I didn't like. Tell you what I didn't like about Tampa. The offensive line was atrocious.
Yeah, and it's going to be.
They were fucking awful,
That's going to be.
and I don't
fifth
like
flaw.
that
I don't even.
moving forward,
That gives me.
especially
a stomach.
when Brady comes back, which I think they'll be at a different level when he comes back.
And I think
but
I would go out on a limb and say they're going to have to make a move.
they're going to have to make some moves.
They're going to have
Yeah.
to make some moves because Brady's not going to play behind that. It's just not going to happen.
No, he will be fed up real fucking quick with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially after he's
who's
picking
that?
himself
Todd
up
Bowles?
off the ground a
Is Todd
couple
Bowles,
of
the head coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be gone if they don't figure out.
No,
offense.
what's his name? Who's the offensive coordinator there?
Todd Bowles.
Not Todd Bowles.
We might have to put a cut here.
No, what's his name? Shit.
Uh,
The quarterback kid.
Leftwich?
Yeah. Byron Leftwich.
No, Todd Bowles is the head coach, dude.
No, but Leftwich is the offensive coordinator.
Yes, either way. I said head
Yeah.
coach. You get me all thrown off here. But regardless, they're going to have to make a move to get that offensive line right. Jason Lake will. And they'll get it right. But
They better do something.
it's preseason, man.
yeah, I know. But still, that Buccaneers offensive line. is
Listen,
gonna be
I hate preseason. You know why?
Hmm.
Because the year the Lions went 0-16, we won every preseason game, and everyone was running out of the stadium yelling, Super Bowl!
Okay,
Super
guess-
Bowl! And then we got our
guess
asses
what?
That's 'cause they all
fucking
drank
Baltimore
slapped.
Ravens have won how many preseason games in a row? Like 20 fucking some preseason games in a row. The Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
They're pretty fucking successful.
Just saying, man.
real quick, I want to touch on our Detroit Lions because personally, I thought I was again preseason, grain of salt. I was very disappointed with their performance in the preseason game.
You know what
But-
I was disappointed about? Is that we have a guy that actually goes to the games and hasn't posted one picture about it.
Of what? Us getting our ass kicked?
What are you talking about, dude?
Talking about what?
You could have took
What?
a picture
What?
of your boy dropping the ball there right at the end,
Okay,
turning it over,
regardless
giving up the win.
of
We
Bruce's
left.
ineptitude,
We left in the fourth quarter.
let's
we were
talk
sick of
about
it.
this.
We were
One,
sick of it. I was hammered. I was sick of it.
I don't know why David Blow still has a rostered spot on this.
I don't
Agreed.
either. I think he's awful.
It's time.
Between him and the other
Tim
DB
Boyle,
on the team.
Tim fucking Boyle. I'll keep
between
Tim Boyle.
let me tell you, between both of those guys,
He's an okay backup.
He's okay at best.
where's
Yeah,
Jake
okay.
Rudock?
Please, probably selling insurance.
But I will say this. I was very, very happy that our starting offense came out and they fucking scored right off the bat like that.
It's the Atlanta Falcons.
I know, but it was nice to see our offense with
Yeah.
tempo and actually getting shit done. So I was a little bit happy
I'll
with
say
that.
this: the offense won't be their issue this year.
Okay,
Not going to be the offense.
can we take a second to talk about somebody I think you're just going to absolutely love?
What?
Lions number 85. White Lightning. Tom Kennedy.
Oh Jesus Christ! Really?
Tom
Was he on the
Kennedy's
practice
stat line.
squad last year?
12 targets, 8 receptions,
I seen him.
104
Oh, I
yards.
seen him. He was catching the ball. He was making plays. The problem is this: where the fuck was he last year?
I want to see him on the team. I want to see him with a role That guy, and guess what? Dan Campbell's big, angry fucking ass was going to see that performance that this kid put on, and he's going to keep him on the team. You watch.
Oh, he'll make the squad.
He'll make the squad.
Somebody's out.
He's going to be this year's Hunter Renfrow. Maybe syphilis will be gone.
I mean, Christopher was watching him during training camp, and he was doing the same shit. He's catching balls.
Kid's got the moves, I think.
Yeah.
I saw Tom Kennedy. He tore it up. Big Tom Kennedy fan. Not a fan of anything else the Lions did. Defense looked confused.
Secondary was okay. It was for me. It was more the linebackers and the defensive line. Like he was saying.
Secondary looking good. Just
the secondary
means
looked
this.
good because the Desmond Ritter was in there throwing 2 and 3 yard passes.
Okay.
Secondary didn't have to fucking do anything.
Desmond Ritter did throw a touchdown right at the end.
He did. I watched it. I watched it. It cost me
fist bang everybody on the field.
Yeah, it cost me a couple $100 to watch Desmond Ritter throw that touchdown.
I mean, we had an interception that was overturned because of some bullshit call. So.
Oh, here we go. The Lions fans are already bitching about bullshit calls, and it's the fucking preseason.
That was huge. That was huge. Having that in a preseason game like that was big.
What was the blown
You know
call?
what's even better?
It was roughing the passer, even though Jared Davis was coming down with so much momentum that he could. First of all, there was no helmet to helmet, and it was clean as shit.
It's preseason.
You're not
Exactly. So why the fuck are you throwing the flag?
Quarterbacks in this league now.
Why are you fucking? Why are you even putting yourself in a position to get a roughing the passer call in pre-fucking season?
But it wasn't a roughing the passer call. That's ridiculous. It shouldn't have been.
Correct.
Actually, it shouldn't, because he should never have been there.
Correct.
Okay, whatever.
Correct. You shouldn't be falling on top of the quarterback.
You got to pull up, dude.
Yeah.
You're coming up to a guy.
You know
to
what the
pass
fuck is
out.
going on.
Pull up, dude.
Yeah.
Barely.
Pull up.
Listen,
You look like a fucking asshole.
He looks like
when you're
This
out there.
game is turning into a bunch of pussy.
It's preseason.
Who cares? It's a chance for the rookies to go out there and get a fucking hit.
Guess what? In the next preseason game, when Jared Goff gets a tooth knocked out in a concussion because some rookie wanted to go out there and flex his cock in a preseason game,
I hope
don't
Jared
cry
Goff
when the
isn't
Lions
playing.
win one fucking game.
I hope he isn't playing.
Please.
He wasn't even supposed to play last week.
He went out there and threw his fucking 4 passes or whatever the fuck it was. You don't do that. You don't do it.
I don't care.
It's the stupid mistakes
Stupid shit.
that bury the Lions every year. False starts.
Okay.
Yep.
Roughing the passer. Fucking
Which is a
stupid mistakes.
bullshit
Dude.
call every single time for the Lions.
It always happens. It happens to every team. You can't touch a quarterback in this league now.
But I want to go back real quick and talk about Desmond Ritter. 6 rushes, 59 yards. He did fumble the ball once.
Didn't have an answer for him.
And passing, he was not that efficient. 10 for 22 for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, though.
And that's with receivers that will not be in the fucking league here.
Yeah, exactly. That's with a bunch of guys who are going to get fucking cut. And without
Exactly.
Kyle Pitts
So
and without Drake
I don't
London.
think Desmond Ritter is a bad quarterback.
No, I don't
really
either.
don't. And I see why the Lions actually liked him.
Mm-hmm.
They had him at the Senior Bowl.
I'm
actually surprised they didn't
he's
draft
interesting
him,
to me.
to be honest with you.
And especially when they get to full strength and they can use some of their weapons. Like, I mean, you have a quarterback that's that mobile. With Cordero Patterson and Drake London
here's the thing,
and
dude.
Kyle Pitts,
I'll tell you
great
what, dude.
athletes around him.
I don't know if it was just me. I was really impressed with Marcus Mariota.
He threw 2 fucking balls, dude.
I was just impressed with the way he was commanding the offense.
He threw 2
They
fucking
moved
balls,
the ball easily. Well, when you're averaging almost 7 yards per carry,
dude. That is true.
he didn't have to throw the fucking football.
You're right. I'll give
That's
you that.
the issue
Well,
with the Detroit Lions.
Now, was that because Atlanta was doing so well offensively or because the Lions are just atrocious at stopping the
I think
run?
a combination of both. They can't stop the run. They have no inside presence at all. None. Zero.
No.
On that defensive line, there is no inside presence at all.
You've really got
Ali
to do something.
McNeil's the only guy they got, and that's not going to do it.
No,
That's not going to do it because right now he's a rotational player on every other team at best.
Yeah,
and I know he's a good guy. I know he was a high draft pick. That as a workday, he's not even going to make the field, dude. Again, he couldn't stay healthy last year. He's hurt again. Josh Pascal, the 3rd overall pick of the Lions this year, he's hurt. He has a core muscle injury. Who knows if he'll even see the field before week 6? Nobody knows.
Yeah, I know.
So guess what? That guy is supposed to be a defensive lineman. Now, if you're going to put him in there, they're real weak at defensive line.
Agree with
They're
that.
not going to be able to stop anybody.
I agree with that. They've got to make a move here.
They
You've got to make a move
need
before the season starts.
to actually go out
Yeah.
and get some professional level defensive linemen here. Because if they don't, they're a 5-win team. And that's lucky.
Agreed.
5-win team.
I'm starting to think that too. Maybe they sneak 6, but I think 5 is probably pretty.
They're a 5-win team.
Yeah.
As of right now, they're a 5-win. From what I've seen, and I know it's preseason, I know it means nothing, but to see a team get pushed around, the defense get pushed around the way they did, that is not a good thing. Not a good thing. When you're sitting there, okay, my second your linebackers are not making tackles because they have offensive linemen pushing them 5
And you
yards
want to know what?
past the line of scrimmage.
I got around to watching Hard Knocks last night,
Yes.
and you kind of get a feel for it there. Like when you were watching the Lions do some of like tackling drills and stuff, and Jamal Williams is sitting there just
see
flinging
why
guys
Dan
off of
Campbell
him
lost
like
his
this.
shit, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you saw. What'd you say?
Dan Campbell lost his shit
Yeah,
on
on
them
the
guys.
Yeah,
Because he
nobody
already
knows how
seen
to
the
fucking
fundamentals
tackle.
he knows.
of tackling
He's aware.
are not
Are
fucking
not there.
there.
He's
They're
aware.
not there.
He's aware.
They're not there, and that's not something that's going to just
That's not something you're going to learn in
fix
fucking
overnight.
3 weeks.
No, I agree.
You're not going to fix that in 3 weeks, dude.
Real quick, a lot of the other games I didn't see anything relevant from. The Rams and the Chargers, nobody who's even going to make the team played. I didn't watch Minnesota and the Raiders.
I don't think anybody did.
I don't think anybody did. So outside of that, those were the highlights from the preseason week 1. But
The Raiders will be ready this year.
I think so too.
I like what their offense. They got a couple of guys on the offensive line, new guys that are really impressive. Their center, I don't know what his name is offhand, but the center they've plugged in. He's played real well here in the preseason. Overachieved, and they got another rookie on that offensive line. They've really bolstered it up, and it's going to help them in the run game.
I want to talk about Hard Knocks now, because you guys talked about it last week. I have an opinion on this Lions coaching staff.
Okay.
I love a player's coach. Okay? And I think that's what Dan Campbell is at his core. He was a player who became a coach. Everybody on the staff, like you said, 80 years of NFL playing experience on that staff. That is a great thing to have. I had a lot of faith in Dan Campbell. When they made the hire, I liked it. Every time I hear the guy talk, I like it. For some reason, and this is the first time it happened for me, I don't have a feeling that he's the answer. And it's
because
nothing.
you like stats guys. You
No,
like guys like
I
Belichick.
don't like stats guys. I like Belichick. But Belichick's downfall is the fact that he's a fucking robot. I like a guy who can do a little bit of both. Patricia couldn't win over the team. Why? Because he was a fucking robot.
No, he's a fucking asshole.
He's an asshole. He's a fucking, he's a cocksucking robot, period.
Shitbag.
Let's just say that. Now, you know, and I don't doubt this, every single one of those guys would go and lay down their life for Dan Campbell. The respect factor's there. The heart is there. The ability to play for him is there. All of it. But I don't think the upper management here, Ron, whatever his name is, the ownership,
Ron Wood.
whatever the fuck it is, and I don't think they are involved / competent / knowledgeable enough to get this thing going in a way where a coach who is built like Dan Campbell can succeed. Because if you're going to coach like Dan Campbell does, you've got to have a little bit of talent, right? Because you're not out here when you're rah-rahing and even though they have all that experience, you got a little taste of it from Hard Knocks. The players respect him and all of that, but I just don't think he has that edge, that teaching edge, that little bit of decorum, that little bit of analytics.
Well, you see, I agree with you with everything you're saying except for this. He was smart enough to hire guys that are X's and O's guys, and I love that. The problem is this. Going forward, if they only win 5 games this year, is he going to lose the locker room?
No.
Is he going to lose these guys?
I don't think.
That's the only thing that scares me is that his passion to get these guys to be the best they can be with a team that is not talented, as you say, and they're not. They don't have an NFL talent roster. They really don't.
They don't.
They have a handful of guys that are talented, and the rest are guys that should be on the practice squad. I just think that if it goes forward and they win 5 games and they're not successful and it's not going in the direction that it should be going in, that he's going to lose these guys.
I don't think
And once you lose a team, you're all done.
I don't think he can lose the locker room. No. I don't. I think he's past the point with them, especially like you said, with the guys he put around them.
Correct.
There are some of those assistant coaches, Aaron Glenn and who's the running backs
Aaron
coach?
Glenn is going to be a head coach next year.
Who's the running backs coach?
Staley.
Love those guys. Love the fact that he brought them in. Those are players' coaches, and I like that. Dan Campbell's biggest downfall, in my opinion, is going to be Brad Holmes. And that's not to say I don't love what Brad Holmes has done to this point. And I don't know if it will be Brad Holmes' fault that Brad Holmes is his downfall. It might be Ron Wood's fault. It might be ownership's fault because they're not going to let him do what he needs to do. But if they cannot, this year I think is a write-off, truly. And I don't think he'll lose the locker room. I don't think anybody will lose their job.
I'm hoping he doesn't. Because I think the culture that he's bringing here right now
it's a known
is a good thing.
That they're going to win more games than they won last year.
Yeah, but who cares? If you win 5 games, it's no different than winning 3, except you get a worse draft pick, in my opinion.
Well, true.
Unless you get over a 6-win threshold, it's a piss-poor year. But if they don't do something, either this year, at the trade deadline, in the offseason, to bring in some legitimized real fucking talent. Go out there, and when you have these big free agents, make the splash. At least have your name involved in it. At least have your fucking name involved in it.
I agree.
Bobby Wagner was available. Lions wouldn't even bat a fucking eye at it. Like, realistically, they have the money to go get Roquan Smith. They could do it. They could pull it off. Even if you have no intention of actually fucking doing it. Leak something that shows you're involved.
At least, man, at least call his agent.
Yeah, he doesn't have
one.
He doesn't fucking have one.
I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about Bobby Wagner. Call his fucking agent. Ask him if he would like to come here, which I truly believe Bobby Wagner's playing for rings.
Yeah,
I get it.
Correct. Bobby Wagner is playing for rings, as is Von Miller, as is
correct
the majority of these big name guys.
I agree.
But you've got to do something to get over the hump.
But this Roquan Smith, I say you go after it. He's a young guy.
Sell
in the league 5 years.
Farm. Go.
He's good. Go after him, dude.
You had a very successful draft this year. A draft. Now, again, we don't know exactly how all these guys are going to pan out. But if we look at the draft on paper, you had the best draft
in the division. In their division.
And that the Lions have had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy with all the picks.
The only one I personally thought that had a better draft defensively
is Philly.
Is Green Bay.
Oh.
In our division.
In our division.
I'll
give you that. I want them to
I love Devontae Wyatt. I love him and Quay Walker. I just think if you can do that, you've upgraded. Now see, my scenario would have been this. Instead of taking Jameis Williams with that second pick overall, you move up, you grab Jordan Davis, you've solidified your defensive line, you got 2 of the best defensive players in the draft, then turn around and go for a receiver. with the 34th pick. I think they made a mistake. That was me personally. I don't know. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. But that would have been the best scenario for them as of right now, because I think they would have had that presence in the middle of the defense that you can't run on, something they're vastly, vastly missing more than a wide receiver. That was just my opinion. That's all I'm saying. I like Jameis Williams. I think he's going to be a very good receiver in this league. Probably the best receiver. If he's healthy, he'll be the best receiver out of all these guys.
I can't disagree with anything you just said. I think so too.
But I think the best case scenario at that point would have been for Brad Holmes to address the defense. If you're going to address the defense, address it up and down the line. Don't fuck around with it. Your defense was the part of this team that was absolutely fucking atrocious last year. It's the reason why you lost 7 games in a row.
Yeah.
Because the defense was that bad.
Thoughts on your team?
Well, based on the draft.
No,
no, because there is one thing I was actually thinking about was, yes, Jameson Williams was a good ad, but, like, what if we would have moved up and actually got somebody on our defense that was actually worth
Well, I mean, you took Aiden Hutchinson. That was your guy at 2.
I got news
yeah,
for you.
but
God bless you both.
Big, like,
What?
more. You got to bolster the defense
I get
more.
it. Jordan Davis could be a great defensive tackle. At the end of the day, though, if you got the best...
What was the sexy pick?
Jameson Williams.
Absolutely. And
if
I
you-
get
Yeah,
it. I get
If
it.
he ends up being the best receiver out of this fucking draft, then nobody's going to think twice about it.
Correct.
That's true.
And that's fine. I
But our
have
defense
no
is
issue with the
so-
way they drafted. It's the same issue I have with Dallas, with New England, and with us. You are silent in the fucking off season. Sign a free agent. One.
Shake it up.
Why can no Detroit sports team
Shark.
ever
I
sign a
watched
free...
Shark. Come on,
God
dude.
damn it.
Come on, dude. I watched Jacksonville do more than they did.
Jacksonville, great offseason. Loved everything about it.
I don't disagree.
Philadelphia.
I don't.
Great offseason.
Off-season.
Loved everything about it.
What do they do? And I get it. Philadelphia's not rebuilding like Detroit is. I totally get it. I totally understand why they didn't do what you just said because of that. They're not 1 or 2 fucking players away. There are a lot of players away, especially on the defense.
I agree. They're
But you got to get NFL talent level
correct.
in
And
this fucking city.
you got to win 6 games this year. You have to
They
come out of
have
this
to,
year.
dude. Listen, they win 5 games. They win 5 games. What have you proven? Dude?
There's a big
All
difference
from-
for
What
some
have you
reason
proven?
All
between
from-
winning 5 and 6. If you win 6, is it a bad year? Yeah, but it's not house cleaning. At
we
5,
knew what
I mean,
last year was going to be.
right.
We knew what last year was going to be.
This year you got to
the
at least
talent
double your
level
win
was
total. I'm sorry.
absolutely
Well,
the
like I
bottom of
said,
the barrel.
If you watch the post game, they were all pretty much talking about how they're just looking forward to the first game of the season.
Yeah, that's
That-
great.
that-
again,
that is what they're aiming
that's
for.
the problem with Dan Campbell, and I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love the morale boost. I love the rah-rah thing. But I
That's
mean,
not
it's
really
fucking
rah-rah.
bullshit. Yes,
That's,
it is.
Fuck the preseason. It doesn't.
And
No.
we're gonna let you tread water.
I
until you
understand.
fucking
I
drown.
understand what
Shut
all
the
that
fuck
is.
up and play
Yeah,
football, dude.
I'm saying they don't give a fuck about preseason. It's like, well, you can't. I mean,
Now,
you
now
can.
Do you see what I'm
but-
talking about after watching this? Is this guy legitimately on the edge? If they win 5 games, he might shoot himself. He might take his own life. He cares that much.
I don't
He
know.
fucking cares.
You know
which is
what?
better than Matt
You know
Patricia.
what? It's
Matt Patricia didn't give a
that
fuck about
first
this
episode to me was gimmicky.
What do you
That's
do?
what I'll fucking say. It was gimmicky.
Of course.
He was gimmicky. The whole thing with Staley and fucking Aaron Glenn going back and forth.
that's
that,
not.
you know what? Fuck
That's,
that.
That's shop talk.
Yeah.
That's coaching talk.
This is-
that's sideline bullshit.
It's gimmicky.
is what it is.
Period.
It's sideline trash talk bullshit.
I didn't like
Every fucking team does it.
I didn't like anything. about
Every team does that.
I don't. Okay.
The thing is this.
Whatever.
Is Dan Campbell a good head coach? We don't know that yet.
No,
We're going to find out.
Idea.
We're going to find out real quick if he's a fraud or not. And guess what?
Well, I don't think he's a fraud, but
No, I'm saying if he's a fraud or not. You're going to find out real quick. Because if they start out 0-6 or 0-7 this year, he might be gone.
He needs to be.
I don't disagree.
All right. Let's move on real quick here. How are we on time?
Hour 20.
Oof. Actually, I say we call it a day.
All right.
That was a very good preseason week one recap. Stick with us. We're going to come at you again next week. Once the season starts here, we got it down. Oh. You got to get the crabs out of there.
Some more self-grooming.
This is man stuff, Bruce.
Anyways.
Why don't you grow a beard, pussy?
Stick with us during the regular season. We are going to come out with 2 episodes a week. We're going to give you essentially pre-weekend and post-weekend, whatever we call this. I don't know if it's information or not, but we're going
Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah, we're going to come at you Tuesdays and Saturdays. Get you ready for a big football Sunday. Recap you on the previous Sunday. It's we got it down. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's in the link in our bio on our Instagram, which, funny enough, is @tipballs. Follow us on TikTok, Tip Balls Podcast. Bruce posts some decent content there. And visit our link tree in the Instagram bio. We got all kinds of shit there. We're going to be doing a merch drop before the season comes out, so you can rep Tip Balls at your NFL games. Well, different colors and teams and all kinds of cool shit to choose from. And probably some shirts with Uncle Sam's fucking face on it, which will be great.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting.
And we're better than half these assholes out here because we'll be honest. You know,
Listen,
we're an honest podcast. We'll swear. We'll have a good time.
do you know what a
rather
true
than all
sign
these...
of? Do you know what a true sign of no talent is? Having to sit here and say we're better than you.
We are?
I don't give a fuck if we're better than them.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't need any of that because I know I'm the fucking best.
well,
That's
just like
gonna be a
that.
clip.
That's it.
That's gonna be a clip.
Some ass clown on the Instagram. Who, I hope you're not making a career out of this. It's like, imagine if we actually gave a fuck if what you thought. That's what I was gonna say.
Who said
back.
this?
Bruce is offended. Anyways,
Bruce was offended.
No,
by
I just
a
I
listener?
just love. I don't respond. I just love seeing.
You were
the comments
offended
'cause
by
it's
a
like,
listener?
Because like, let me go out of my way to purposely try to ruin.
are we
someone
really
else.
ending our show with how butthurt you were over Instagram?
I wasn't butthurt. I was just like, imagine if we cared.
Thank you guys
Give a
so
fuck
much for
what
listening.
everybody
You'll hear
says
from
about
us
you.
next week. What was that?